There are 9 unique rocket launchers you can choose from in TF2. 5 of them behave mostly like the stock rocket launcher, 2 of them have rockets that move faster through the air, and 2 have unique capabilities that completely transform rocket jumping. The most important difference between these first 5 launchers is rocket offset, where your rockets shoot from. This offset makes several subtle changes to how the launchers work, which I'm going to briefly discuss. The stock rocket launcher and the original share all of the same attributes, except what they look like and where the rockets come out. Stock shoots from the side, original shoots from the center horizontally. Stock's rockets will slowly correct towards the middle of the screen, and if shot over a long enough distance, it will eventually move further and further to the side. All launchers have a tiny vertical offset of 3 hammer units below where your view is, which also affects rocket drift but is more subtle. This means that rockets fired from any launcher will correct vertically and slowly move upwards. These corrections are relative to the direction that you're looking, so if you shoot angled down, correcting up means that the rocket inches forwards. Holding crouch affects where your view is relative to this offset and changes the way that rockets adjust in an attempt to center themselves. Holding crouch will cause the rockets to drift downwards, a bit more noticeably than they drift upwards when uncrouched. But it's worth noting that when doing long vertical sinks, because you can't actually aim straight down, crouching helps the rockets move in a direction that's closer to straight down. Original center fire is unique and doesn't apply to the other launchers. In fact, all launchers share stock's offset of 12 hammer units except for the original and the Mangler. Mangler has a unique in-between horizontal offset of 8 hammer units. Lastly, if you enable the flip view model setting, all of the horizontal offsets go to the left instead of to the right. The stock rocket launcher, original, and Mangler with their different offsets make up 3 of the 5 quote-unquote normal rocket launchers. The other 2 are the black box, which for jumping behaves exactly like stock but has 1 less rocket in the clip, and the rocket jumper, which for jumping is a carbon copy of stock, just that you don't have damage indicators because you don't take damage. 2 of the 4 special launchers shoot rockets that travel at a faster projectile speed. If you're using these for jumping, keep in mind that most jump servers will adjust the launchers to behave like stock. If you're in a place that they're behaving like they normally do, you'll notice that you won't be able to do sinks. Your aim for wall shots needs to change, and other techniques like pogo and speed shots have a different aim too. These 2 launchers don't have any jump maps, but there is a jump on stick, nick, leg, whatever that changes rocket speed and has a direct hit quint. Seriously, Gorge, how do you pronounce that map? The last 2 launchers are extremely different from stock, to such a degree that even highly experienced purely stock rocket jumpers will be totally outclassed by people who have devoted just a few dozen hours to one of these specialty launchers. The Airstrike is a launcher that has a faster fire rate when you're rocket jumping. Your first rocket is slow, but then you let off a continuous burst of rockets that allows you to do sink skips and crazy wall shots. There's 3 maps made for the Airstrike: Lotus, Strike, and Strike-a-Pole. Because it's possible for TF2 maps to adjust item attributes, some of these maps apply airstrike capabilities to any rocket launcher, so you can have center firing airstrike physics when playing these maps if you want. The Beggars bazooka is the last launcher to cover. This thing is wildly different from the other launcher types. You can load up to 3 rockets by clicking your primary fire, then let all of them out at once by releasing it. Alternately, you can load past 3 rockets to perform an overload, which causes an explosion in front of you, even if you're midair with nothing for the rocket to explode off of. By facing backwards timed with the overload, you can effectively rocket jump midair. Beggars is a rocket launcher that a lot of jumpers ignore, but it has a large amount of versatility and intricacies in jumping that haven't fully been explored. There are just a few Beggars maps out there right now, but there are more in the works by the small but passionate Beggars community. Jump BB Initiate, BB City, and BB Nightmare come to mind. Unfortunately, Beggars maps can't do the same thing Airstrike maps do and edit item attributes, because it doesn't work to enable Beggars. The Beggars bazooka launcher also has 2 downsides that you should be aware of. The first is that the firing rate is slower, meaning that you can't sustain a pogo or wall shots. The second is that the rockets fire with a random deviation of up to 3 degrees. This makes sense as a balance tool for playing casually, but it makes some Beggars jumps reliant upon good RNG. On Jump Academy servers, you can toggle deviation on and off within TF2, and Momentum Mod is implementing Beggars jumping without deviation at all. I'm very new with Beggars, but with the help of some highly skilled Beggars jumpers, I'm hoping to learn how to do Beggars better and eventually make some videos on how to use it. Scrutinized by and heavily reliant upon the experts, of course, since my understanding is limited. As a final note when talking about these different rocket launchers, please don't use another launcher to cheat a jump or make jumping easier for you. If you want to learn how to rocket jump with stock, for example, using the Beggars to overload past a jump, or Original to have a simpler technique to wall pogo, will hinder your ability to learn how to use the launcher. You'd get the wrong feedback and fail to learn the skills that someone who stuck it out would have. Failing over and over with patience and an attentive mind is equivalent to learning. By missing a jump, identifying what to do to adjust, and trying again, you get the opportunity to build up the skill set needed to do what you wanted to do. Avoiding the process of failing and analyzing deprives you of that opportunity and presents a cheap reward that won't translate into results long term. I hope you have a better understanding of what separates the launchers TF2 has to offer. If you have questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.